All right, in our virtual green room, Dave Sweeney, the name of his book, Going Back to God. It's interesting, his story, I'm telling you, and it's great that he's here on Author's Corner on America Tonight with me, Kate Delaney, because this is a book of over 200 poems tracing the days from being 315 pounds and then losing a ton of weight. And it's the memoir that he's written about what you go through, what he went through physically, psychologically, in really his attempt to rediscover God in order to get, desperate help that he needed. So Dave, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Kate. It's a pleasure to be here.
So first of all, what happened? How did you turn the corner what was it that took you in the direction of, I need to tell this story?
Well, you know what they say, there's no atheist in a foxhole. And I went through some really physical trauma in my life. I had a blocked artery in my right side, totally blocked, and I wasn't diagnosed right away. And it finally was diagnosed, and I had to have a procedure done where they had to put stents in and open up. And during all that uncertainty, I wasn't sure what was going on, and I really wanted to get in touch with God deeper and deeper to help me, to cry for help. And that was the basis for me writing the book, Going Back to God.
Wow. All right. So tell us about that journey. Tell us about what we can expect in the book.
Well, you referred to my weight loss, which I did lose 100 pounds. And that was in my other book, Weight Watcher, Dave. And I wrote the 200 plus poems chronicling the descent from 315 down to 215. And then after that, that's when I started to have physical problems a while after that. And I never really wrote a memoir before. So I really wanted to get in touch with my feelings and my desperation and my need for help from God. And I really, it's sort of a form of prayer. And I started to write about it. Step by step, kind of moment to moment, how I was feeling and what I was experiencing. And it really did help me a lot as I was trying to get through the process. And then lo and behold, at the end, I had a book and I published it.
Wow. So you've been writing a while because, like, as you said, not to confuse people, and you straightened that out, you had the weight loss, you have the book, Weight Watcher Dave. You also have Dave's 50 plus years of drinking alcohol, which that's a memoir about drinking and the cautionary tale.
It sure is, Kate. Last September, when I was dealing with my physical woes, and two of them are my knees, and I have a knee problems, and I'm going to have knee replacement surgery coming up next week. But that had to be put on hold because of the artery problem. But still, I had all these physical woes, and when I took some medication for the knees, pain-killing medication, it said, do not drink alcohol unless you consult with your physician. And I used that as an impetus to stop drinking completely. I'd been thinking about it for a long time. So I stopped drinking and I started to write about it. And I haven't touched a drink since last September. So I wrote that memoir, Dave's 52 plus years of drinking alcohol. And in it, I came to a lot of conclusions that I missed out on a lot because of the alcohol use during my life. And it just sort of like insulated me and protected me, I thought, from dealing with the real life issues in the world and getting ahead. So it is a cautionary tale, and I hope people can get it and read it.
So you've been writing for a while now, right? Does it feel good in these three that we just have talked about? Does it feel good to put it out there in the world?
It does. It really does, Kate. I mean, I want to publish it. I want to get it out there. And the next step is to get people to buy it and read it. I hope that this helps today in that process, because I think I have a story to tell, and it's an interesting story. It's a helpful story for others. And I hope they can purchase it and read my books.
Which, by the way, you can always get the books on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. So when we talk about the book that I first introed, the Going Back to God, what happened? What made you stray? The drinking and all the other things, and just life in general?
Well, I've been a lifelong Catholic growing up and everything. And I was like going to church and everything over the years, but I never really bought into it 100%. I never really thought I could get a lot of value out of it other than just, covering my bases by going. But then I realized I had to dig deeper. I have to call for more help, and I really got to get more in tuned. And I started to do that. And then I was writing the book, Going Back to God. Then after that, I wrote a book, Ash Wednesday and the 50 Days of Lent. And then I wrote the 50 Days of Easter. I didn't know there was 50 days of Easter after Easter. So I've written 3 books, and now I got one more book I want to write at the end of this year is Advent, that time period, Advent. And then I'll have 4 books on religion, memoir books. And I think they're really good. And I really get in touch. And I think people who read it can follow along and feel what I've been going through too, hopefully.
So it's interesting because you were doing the reps, so to speak. You were going there, you were sitting in the pew, all that stuff. And now that you've, I'm going to say, flushed it out and gone deeper and talked about, wow, I didn't know about 50 Days of Easter. I didn't know any of this. And now you put it out there. Does it just have a deeper meaning? Does it just resonate deeper with you?
It does, Kate. It does. And it gets better all along because I've continued the process, the habits I've developed by writing these books to pray and to be in tune with God as much as I can possible and let him come to me and be in me and have me be a better person. And, that whole thing about going to church and then after church going to the bar, that's out the window now. None of that anymore. I don't go to bars anymore and I feel a lot better. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't drink, but for me, I drank for 52 years. I started when I was like 14, 15 years old. And I said, enough is enough. I've had enough drinks for 2 or 3 lifetimes. So that's enough for me.
When people read this book, and you're saying it, but what do you hope they take away from reading the book?
Take away that, we have a lot of choices in life to make. And you shouldn't just put everything on automatic or on what you think you should be doing, but you should dig down deeper and really think about it and pray about it and really try to get some counseling if needed or just advice and to look at other success examples and try to do that yourself because that'll make a big difference in your life as you move forward. You don't want to get to my age when I'm like 67. I'm looking back. I said, geez, I should have done this. I should have done that. I blew it. But at the same time, I'm dealing with it, and I'm still optimistic, and I think I'm turning it around still. So I want to be positive about it.
And I feel that positivity. I think anybody listening to this can tell you're a positive person. And it's interesting. You've been writing and publishing books, certainly on Amazon Kindle for at least a decade. You have 60 publications, right?
Yes, mainly they were poems. Every year I would write poems. I started with the Weight Watcher, Dave. Every week when I went to Weight Watchers class, I wrote a poem or 2 about it. And I actually put it on YouTube, too, if you ever go to Dave Gold Show at yahoo.com or YouTube. I have that on there. But I wrote everything down, poems, and then I wrote plays. And I'm an actor. Besides being a lifelong teacher, career teacher, I did that on the side, and a writer and a director. I had a cable access TV show. And I produced everything and I published everything that I wrote and produced. So I got a whole bunch of material, but I got to get it out there. I want to take the next step, and I'm really grateful for talking to you today.
You're so prolific. It's so interesting. And do you think that, that's your gift, right? Your gift is this ability, even there sitting in those Weight Watcher meetings, to think, hey, I'm going to write poems about this. Who knows who this touches? And then the cable access and all of that. So you just dove in. Yeah.
I have a part of me that I developed on my own when I moved out to LA when I was in the mid-20s. Years of age in the 80s, and I developed myself that way in the arts. I never really, unfortunately, got it growing up. I never was encouraged for it. It just was a part of me. I knew it was inside of me, and I had to bring it out. And I brought it out, and now at age 67 is totally out of the closet.
I like that. So again, you can go to Amazon. You can go to Barnes and Noble. If you go to Amazon Books/Dave Sweeney, you'll see everything there because he really has written so much. And, we come full circle with this. Thanks so much for coming on, and we wish you the best. Keep writing.
Thank you, Kate. I appreciate you interviewing me, and I am going to keep going, and I'm hoping for the best.
Nice. Thanks, Dave.
Okay, Kate. Bye now.